Welcome back everybody to game number 2 of the Join Dota League season number 5's European Division 2. It is hehe going up against, well, LiangHao or Meteor Makers. Not sure if they just put Meteor Makers to troll us at the moment or if they're actually working on a new sponsorship, but doesn't really matter because the same team, same players anyway. So it is the first position up against the second position in the standings for the group stage so far. But with Meteor Makers or LiangHao taking game number 1, they are looking a little bit better than hehe already, to be honest. But should be a great game nonetheless. I mean, game number 1 went to 58 minutes. I haven't had such a long game for some time, to be honest. So hopefully second game will be just as exciting. We are of course HeflaTV, I'm Couchor, once again gonna be joined by Mike Lores. Are we gonna see just as crazy of drafts or are they gonna go a little bit more standard now?
And I hope it's just as crazy. I'm honestly a little bit tired of the whole, lion, troll, vengeful spirit thing, Bat Rider. We could do a couple of games without them. But even if it is going to be pretty standard, as it stands right now, if LiangHao or Meteor Makers beat hehe, then they're guaranteed a spot in the Division 1-2 playoffs. And, well, obviously that's where you want to be for, I guess, the MLG League Season 2 or whatever it's called, whatever it's going to be called. But yeah, Meteor Makers, LiangHao, they're looking pretty good to just secure their spot, and hehe at that point will just have to duke it out with Aspera for the secondary spot. So this is where it really comes down to the hard part for hehe, because this is actually, I believe, their last game they're going to play in the entire series, in the entire season.
Yeah, it is indeed their last game, I believe, because yeah, they were 14-2 beforehand, so going up to 18 games should be the end goal for them. So for hehe, even if they lose this one, their fate isn't sealed quite yet. It all will depend on Aspera, who at the moment are also having a game up against somebody else, I believe. Or what was Aspera's score?
Yeah, they are. They're 11-3, and they're currently. Oh no, they just won 2-0. So now they're 13-3.
So there's a chance that if he loses this, Aspera, if they lose one more game, they're gonna be tied, and they're gonna have like a tiebreaker show-off kind of thing. But coming back to this particular game here, they asked Meteor Makers or LiangHao not to ban the IO, and well, they didn't ban it, picked it up themselves for the first pick as hehe. Going for an Ancient Apparition and Beastmaster, of course. If you do manage to land that Ice Blast, it's going to be excellent because it's going to negate all of the healing that IO otherwise can bring. Beastmaster decent for scouting as well as MOM. Bat Rider plus an IO relocate gank, man, that feels scary already.
This is definitely not going to be that. They're probably not going to be that super aggressive game that we saw in the last one, but it's still going to be rather interesting. Like, the aggression is going to come a lot more methodically, both with the Beastmaster and Bat Rider, and of course IO to a lesser extent, who just want to pretty much get ganks whenever they have their ultimates off of cooldown. Of course, once they, for Bat Rider, grabs level 6. So it's going to be a little bit more of a methodical game in that regard. But I've been seeing a lot of Beastmasters picked up in the second spot. I don't honestly know why teams decide to do this. You can most of the time get Beastmaster a lot later, as I've never actually seen him banned before. So it seems like they might have a little bit of a very aggressive strategy brewing for hehe. Not as aggressive, but almost as aggressive.
Yeah, I think like Beastmaster ban was only a thing if you're up against Denial or the previous Basically Unknown, or quite possibly like any team with fucking Mad in it because he just likes Beastmaster somehow. But up against like any other team, you really do not see the Beastmaster ban like you mentioned. So definitely could have gone for it later, but they're going for like different kind of picks anyway as it is. Even looking at the bans, at least from Meteor Makers, removing a Queen of Pain as well as a Puck. Of course, now that the Tiny is banned out, do you like go back towards a Phantom Assassin as the IO partner, or come on please, give us a Chaos Knight.
Chaos Knight is actually looking pretty decent here. If they don't want to go for that, which, let's be honest, no team ever wants to go for Chaos Knight ever, or else we would see it more. Bristleback PA are probably two of the mainstay heroes as far as the real big IO partners are concerned. So maybe if you grab up a couple of those, then hopefully you'll keep yourself safe versus the pretty high burst damage and sustained damage of hehe, especially that Bristleback. But outside of that, they already have their initiation online. They already have an offlaner. They could play this in quite a few ways, whereas for hehe, they grab the Beastmaster, obviously rather early. Ancient Apparition more as a direct counter to the IO. Gyrocopter, also a rather early pick. Very rarely nowadays do you see a Gyrocopter being banned out. Occasionally you might see it 5th banned, but that's not really too often either. So this gyrocopter with Ancient Apparition, maybe get a stunner on the board. That's a pretty dangerous tri-lane. They could run that offensively and crush whoever they're going to be up against.
They're preemptively thinking about a Chaos Knight for the IO partner. They just want to have some AoE to deal with the illusions. Must be it. Only reasoning for gyrocopter.
I mean, it's pretty good against like the relocate. You just drop the missiles when you see the little glowing blue thing, and then you just crush them with missiles, technology and stuff.
Oh, even easier now, considering that they have a clockwork with the power cogs to just keep people in place of their... God, am I forgetting the name of it? Cooldown, yes, the cooldown. Man, it's been so long with the gyrocopter, I guess. But clockwork is kind of double-edged. Sometimes it messes up your own battlefield with the cogs. So I have to be a little bit wary, as all clockwork players do. Of course, gyrocopter, like, his range is just long enough to get over the cogs as well to attack if need be. Rocket Barrage, I think, should also be able to reach over the cogs. So not gonna be that bad. Meteor Makers though, they have their 2 supports, they have their offlaner, and they're gonna go for an Ember Spirit now. So they're still not revealing that IO partner, unless they want to run like an IO Ember Spirit, but doesn't feel like that threatening.
It's pretty mediocre. When you have a draft like what MYM have, it looks more and more like they're going to be putting the IO in a defensive tri-lane with Witch Doctor, maybe that Ember Spirit, and then just trying to get level 6 at the same time. And that's fine. They're pretty much going for this because at this point for Hehe, can you assume that one of these heroes, Clockwork or Beastmaster, is going to be played as support? Because I guess you could send Beast or Clock towards the mid lane. It's very rarely done, but for right now, Hehe don't really have that much CC. They have the Roar, which is of course very annoying, and they have a Hookshot, which is, I guess, a small form of crowd control. But Ember Spirit should be able to jump his way out of most things, unless Hehe get extremely out of control farmed.
It's really like Primal Roar, and that's about it. Maybe Primal Roar into Cold Feet, something along those lines, can also work out. But Hehe now going for another game of Darks here, and well, this time around they're gonna have the Gyrocopter really dishing out pretty much all of the damage. They have some nice lockdown, but there's not even like, well, there's reasonable synergy with that Vacuum, I suppose, with Ice Blast as well as Cooldown, but it's just so extremely reliant on getting off that kind of wombo combo, because if you miss the Vacuum combo with the other spells, suddenly your team fight isn't all that great. All you have is like a Hookshot and the Primal Roar. Of course, Meteor Maker so far, they don't have really durable heroes, so that's working in favor of Hehe, but really expect them to go for like a super hard carry now for MYM.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. They do have Hehe like a pretty cute AoE combo of Vacuum into Cogs into Call Down or something like that, and since Meteor Maker is now going to pick up another just very, very soft hero, it is possible for this Gyrocopter to just get a couple of damage items. With the Call Down, he'll be able to melt all of Meteor Makers, but honestly, the Darkseer of last game wasn't too impressive. His wall vacuum combos didn't really land that often. Hell, his vacuums weren't even that great. So honestly, wouldn't have gone for the Darkseer just based off of that alone in the second game. But it seems like he really just wanted to use this Darkseer. And if they play this game aggressively in lane between the Clockwork's broken level 1 damage output, the Darkseer's broken level 1 damage output, the Ion Shell, and Gyrocopters, of course, the same way, plus Ancient Apparitions, Chilling Touch, they could get a very, very nice early game start, seeing as though Meteor Maker's supporting cast are fairly low damage.
Yeah, the damage is low, but it might even work out with the IO providing extra movement speed with the tether to like get away from anybody with an Ion Shell, or at least outrun a Clockwork, for example, so he cannot cog you in. So they have like that working for them, but like I said, if they play their cards correctly, they can definitely just run away with an early game advantage. The thing is, even if they get an early game advantage, they're probably going to find it somewhat hard to really make it into more than just an early game advantage, I think. It really depends on like the itemization. Maybe they're going to have the Beastmaster, who is so far heading towards the mid lane. Maybe they're going to have him like going for a Necrobook, as some Beastmasters or most Beastmasters somewhere along the line go for. But with HWA going mid lane on the Beastmaster, at least that's the lane he usually plays. 4th position Darkseer? Jungle up?
Maybe. I don't know. We used to see Beastmasters go towards the mid lane a very, very long time ago. I want to say like, what is it? This version's like 0.8 something and 0.6 something. Like this used to be a thing. So little bit of a callback down to back then, but it's going to go up against an Ember Spirit, and that matchup is actually not too terrible for the Beastmaster. He's not really the strongest laner, especially in those 1v1 duking it out kind of scenarios, but if he was up against the Queen of Pain or Puck or something like that, he would have just such a worse time. But we might have a little bit of a squabble for this top lane rune. Mania is going to charge, or look at the high ground for Paralyzing Cast. Chilling Touch goes up on 3. Whirling Axes through 3 as well. They really lack the CC right now. The Cask is going to bounce through. Rocket is flying towards not the Witch Doctor. It's going to be the Shadow Fiend who's going to get a lot of distance in between him and the enemies. They have to close in, then start the beatdown. Baby Knight there with the chains, going to slow him down for a little while. And it looks like hehe have guaranteed the bounty rune. That's, I guess, nice, but mana spent on both sides, I guess, fairly even.
Well, at least they're saying hi to each other as well on chat, so extremely mannered stuff coming out from at least hehe's side now. Probably Meteor Makers are like, whew, we just got away with our lives, so happy with that one. But they are getting back to their lanes. Maybe once again gonna miss a little bit of XP, but once again, not all that much, even less so than in the last game, for example. But Mind Control going rather aggressive on the Shadow Fiend already, has the power cogs, unable to really catch up, but he is farming the enemy jungle somewhat. Of course, is or can be at least kind of a scary combination. Once Nihis hits level 2, surge up onto Mind Control with an Ion Shell on him, he cogs somebody in and could be just an easy kill.
Shadow Fiend doesn't really have any way of dealing with that except for, hoping Mania is nearby. They're going to jump in right away with the cogs. No level 2 just yet, but they do have the Ion Shell up, and Walk Walk can't really win a man fight here. He will be chased down by the Ion Shell. Wisp coming in, and it will give the Shadow Fiend just enough to survive. If they were a little bit more patient for Clock to hit that level 2 mark, that would have been such an easy first blood for hehe, but even though they don't, flexing some pretty big muscles up in this top lane, these two heroes are able to do a lot of damage when they're at melee range, plus they're very, very hard to kill.
Oh man, Ion Shell, so strong, but they, like you said, were a little bit too impatient. Of course, it still works in just baiting out like a healing cell, for example. They have to use a Clarity on Nihis as well, but not that big of a deal. Has himself a Magic Stick now. You can definitely expect quite a bit of spells being cast, whether it be like Shadow Raises or just continuous Tether, for example. Looking at the mid lane though, so far it is 4-1 on the Beastmaster compared to a 7-4 Baby Knight. So Ember Spirit having a slight upper hand already, but the biggest deal is like Bat Rider, who is 14-4 somehow.
Ace is having a fantastic time down in this bottom lane. Ancient Apparition trying to get a couple pulls through and stuff like that. Not really helping out Nico Baby too much, who is going to go for the homing missile build. So I think this is the correct build up against Bat Rider. You don't really want to be too close to him with Rocket Barrage, although always getting Rocket Barrage is nice. The very high burst damage of that homing missile is going to be pretty sweet. Up towards the top, Mind Control. He'll drop pretty low to the Shadow Fiend. Will die to a secondary raise. And that's going to be first blood drawn by Unicorn. That is exactly what you want to have happen if you're MYM. Pretty much every single game, if Unicorn can get first blood, you're going to be ecstatic about it. They're also chasing down for the Darks here, although with another Surge coming off cooldown, I don't think they have enough to kill him off. And yeah, he will salve up, which won't be canceled actually. Nihi's going to put himself in a little bit more of a corner, going to turn around and fight it out with the Ion Shell. He has Mind Control coming back in. Mania, though, going to go to the death versus Nihis. He's going to get trapped in the cogs, right clicks onto the Darks here, will get the kill. Now Mania is probably going to die as well. There's one more bottle charge for Blend, but he didn't have enough tether. Clockwork is going to make that another even exchange, but it's still a 2-for-1 in favor of MYM, or LiangHao. Let's just call them MYM, because it's a lot easier for this game.
Yeah, it most certainly is. First of all, otherwise we like look at the names. Sometimes you don't forget, but it just pops into your eyes, kind of MYM, and you want to call what you read. At least that's the case with me most of the time. But I mean, all in all, not only do they get the kills top lane, mid lane farming up better than their counterpart, even if by a little bit. Ace, like you said, having a wonderful time in up to 20 last hits as an offlaner. And he's up against the dual lane. Top lane though, Walk, Unicorn in a lot of trouble. Nope, Tether movement speed is fine. Relax guys, plan comes in at the right time. Although, no, what? Unicorn runs back in. Now the Surge and Mind Control gets the cogs as well. How much regen do we have? Only one bottle charge on Io. Although, with those Shadow Races, they're going to kill Mind Control. And now, Shadow Fiend might even be able to outrun Nihis. Surge coming off in 1 second, but he's going to be able to turn things around. Another Shadow Race. Oh, dodged! He runs to the back side of the Shadow Fiend. Now with the Paralyzing Cast. In the end, he still come out ahead, but, well, could have been worse with Shadow Fiend surviving.
Could have been a lot worse. It's still a 2-for-1 for them. Ace, in the meantime, going to try to take the bird of the Beastmaster. Does get up to the high ground, but now he runs out of Firefly. Oh, luckily for him, Beastmaster doesn't seem to know Ace ran out of Firefly, so he's going to go back to his lane. But killing off the Shadow Fiend, as nice as it is, isn't really quite worth giving away your entire lane for. And really, the Shadow Fiend, he's landing his raises for the most part, but it's really this Io who's making this lane at least not turn out disastrously for MYM. His ability to funnel HP into the Shadow Fiend through the cogs and everything like that is saving the Shadow Fiend's life for a little while longer, and the longer you survive a Shadow Fiend, the more raises you get out, the more damage you get out with Necromastery. So this lane up on top for hehe would ordinarily be a pretty dangerous lane, but Shadow Fiend is keeping himself relatively safe, or at least as far as as much he's keeping himself as safe as you could really expect. Let's say.
Man, it's just so painful to watch. Now the Shadow Race is being level 3, just like one attack plus Shadow Race Clockwork suddenly. Not really in fighting shape anymore, has to back all the way home. He really needs like a bottle or something to sustain himself on the lane, but bottle really far away, and if he goes for the bottle, just the items that will actually tank you up also that much farther away all of a sudden. Mid lane now, Paralyzing Cask will not come out. Nighttime Vision screwing them over a little bit. Plan also didn't get much accomplished, but his bottle is empty. Will they have Baby Knight like TP back home? Come on, Blan, come back, come back. Give your bottle to Ember Spirit when he comes back to a Remnant. Not gonna happen.
That's fine. Ember Spirit is still doing just fine over in this mid lane. Beastmaster has hit his level 6. He's going to run to Mania, Cask and make things inconvenient for him. He's going to throw the Roar, but he doesn't really have much mana. I don't think this is a kill for the Beastmaster. Now here comes Baby Knight. He'll crush right through the board. Now going to go for the Beastmaster, who is being chased down by 4 heroes of MYM. How do these games always come to this? Shadow Fiend is going to take the last hit with the raise, but the whole point of the mid lane Beastmaster is that you hit level 6 very early and then you go for a whole bunch of kills. That is exactly not what you want to do. Grab level 6, waste it, and then go ahead and die. Walk though is going to run to Mind Control. He's going to turn around and man fight. He's going to get pulled out of the cogs though into a cog to bump him back. He's going to give chase to Walk. This time the IO isn't there. Jukes from the Shadow Fiend, not quite going to be enough. He will go down in the end. Mania and Bland going to arrive right into a wall, however. Nias should be just fine. That's going to be a little bit more of how they wanted this top lane to execute for hehe.
So Blan, him not getting his bottle refilled by the Ember Spirit coming back meant that he's a little bit low on mana. Couldn't use the Beast Spirits to just secure the kill on Clockwork. Also him having to tether Mania there to try to go for the kill on Clockwork meant that Shadow Fiend is just straight out dying. So a little bit unfortunate. Hehe finding a little bit of a break. Nihi is now hitting level 6. Has the Soul Ring, enough gold to pick up boots as well if need be. Looking at the bottom lane though, Ace still having a wonderful time. 39 last hits on the Batrider, up to 1.3k gold. Usually if you're like a straight out lane Batrider, you're not gonna get an extremely fast Blink Dagger, but if he continues like this, it's not even gonna be all that slow, although finishes off Tranquil Boots as Shadow Fiend. He just got a solo kill on the clock.
Just a couple of raises with 120 damage a pop right now, which is extremely high for 7 minutes in the game. Not much you could do about that. Over towards mid, Baby Knight Bland looking for a kill onto this Beastmaster. He's going to throw his axes, has a Roar as well. He's going to have to use it pretty soon, although Baby Knight is kind of late there with the Flame Guard. This might result in cause survival. He's going to throw the Roar, but the shield still burns him down. Mike Joel now has arrived. Baby Knight, though, going to jump out of those cogs. Bland also giving him that additional juice in order to get out of there. Bland getting chased down by the AA, but it looks like he will be fine to escape as well. Unless there's a hook shot, not quite up yet. Clock's only level 4, and Bland is home free. That's a pretty nice dive there for MYM. Baby Knight getting some blood in his hands.
Man, it's just being level 4 as a Clockwork. I mean, the idea was nice with the Darks here. Definitely a cute kind of strategy they went for, but it's just Mind Control always dying because he's the one closest to the Shadow Fiend, having to cog him up, of course. I mean, Darks here getting levels is kind of a trade-off, and it's not the bad thing for sure, but like you said, the game plan for hehe is like having the Beastmaster, having the Primal Roar, then the Clockwork with the hookshot should be able to like follow that one up. Kind of secure one kill at the very least, either just nuke down the Shadow Fiend or maybe even the Ember Spirit and then go on with the rest of the fight, but they don't have those levels, they don't have the items that they would need to also fight really. So it's just their game plan gets delayed, and but at least Xan on the Ancient Abrasion, you can see him trying to go for a Hand of Midas, so at least Ancient Abrasion is going for, at least at the moment these days, it is more the popular build, just Hand of Midas into secured levels and guaranteed farm.
It is what you want in your Ancient Apparition, but at the same time, this Batrider is getting a pretty much free time. Shadow Fiend's having a very good time in this game, and Ember Spirit is having a fantastic time as well. So hehe, their lack of game plan execution in this game is really costing them. They're going to try to surge forward and look for Mania, Problem is that there's a Shadow Fiend right around the corner. If they decide to use Cogs on Mania, they will most likely just die. Mania's going to turn around for the cast, which will bounce once. Mind Control can take a little bit of heat, but the Shadow Fiend is going to be unwilling to continue this chase. Darkseer going to dive this, has a wall and a vacuum for a little bit of extra nuking, but over in the mid lane, Beastmaster's dying once again, and they're chasing forward for the Ancient Apparition. Fire is good against Ice, and Shan is going to run to the Ancients, which is going to secure his demise. Let's see how good Baby Knight is at last hitting. Pretty darn good. Going to snag that kill, making it 2-for-1 overall in favor of MYM. They're going to run into Mind Control, or at least the Ember Spirit will. Io will just straight out leave. And Ember Spirit, he has one more Remnant, plus he has a Haste Rune here. They're going to relocate back in with Blan, actually, going to go for Mind Control, and Mind Control is going to take a fall right now. Nia is also going to show his face. He probably would have been better off just trying to run away. Blan hugging the Darkseer, not exactly what you want to be doing, but Baby Knight doing the damage in the meantime will give a whole bunch of kills to Baby Knight. Triple kill for the Ember Spirit. This Ember is going to have a fantastic game. He's already having a fantastic game. Over towards bottom lane in the meantime, Mania will die to a call down on Nico Baby, who is still getting a little bit of farm, but it pales in comparison to what the Shadow Fiend and Ember are getting.
It's also just the heroes like peaking so much earlier. The Ember Spirit, he can just do so much with that farm. Although he is still like so far off an actual Battle Fury, which will start increasing his farm like standard. Although bottom lane, Ace gonna get sped up by that Tether now lassoed up onto Nico Baby, and easy kill, striking him under the tower. I mean, it's not gonna take, or it's not gonna be the fastest kill, but a secure kill. Mind Control though wants to go for a walk. Little does he know that Mania is around the corner. Paralyzing Cast will come in to help out a little bit. Bounces between the heroes as well, no less. Walk will still lose his life, maybe so. Blan comes in, vacuum into the wall. Death Requiem though brings Nihis, I think, just low enough for them to get the kill as the supports. A few more punches with just attacks. And well, Blan tried his best, but in the end, a 3-for-1 anyway. So Shadow Fiend dies, who cares? Still has nice farm. Supports getting those levels. Mania up to level 6 now. Although, didn't even skill up Death Ward.
It might have been one of those heat of the moment things, just wanted another point of Buddha Restoration. Death Ward is really good up against Clockwork Darkseer combo, who are going to be sticking their ground most of the time, but judging by how this game is going, level 7 is fastly incoming for the Witch Doctor, so he could always get it a little bit later. Ace is working with enough gold to grab his Blink Dagger right now, and that's just another problem that he don't really want to be dealing with, but they're going to have to deal with. Not only that Blink Dagger, but also Walk grabbing his, so suddenly initiation galore is there for MYM, and it's not even like they've been taking poor fights because of lack initiation up to this point, so this is a huge power for them that's not really going to be reflected in hehe's items. Like, what have they gotten recently? Minor items like mech components. Beastmaster has nothing.
Man.
Yeah, this is not a good game for this Beastmaster, and it's not going to be a good game for hehe because of it.
Well, if an IO has more than... Oh, they get the Primal Roar onto 8, so that should be at least an easy kill, and it will be. Ember Spirito finds another for himself. It's kind of an even trade-off, to be honest, because Darkseer also has reasonable net worth at the same time. Mind Control now is gonna be so dead. Death Ward even comes out as well, like you said. Went fast to stay his ground. Nice hookshot into 2, cancels the Death Ward, of course. He's probably gonna die anyway. At least he's creating space, delaying things out now, nothing else. But Baby Knight 6, 0 and 2, 1.9k in the bank. It's like one of the rules in Dota, do not feed an Ember Spirit, but that's exactly what's happening here. Or I wouldn't say it's so much feeding him, more so that Ember Spirit just feeding himself.
This Ember Spirit is a lot more active than some Ember Spirits are, who would ordinarily just be chilling in the mid lane, getting farm where they can. Why get farm when you can get farm and get hero kills? He's all the way up to 2200 gold after drums and phase, and he's feeling so powerful that he's just going to go straight for Nihis. Dodging 2 Ion Shells, though, you can't really afford to fight up against those, especially if you're the softer IO. Here comes the Witch Doctor, though. Baby Knight does have enough damage here with level 4 chains to get the kill. Mind Control arriving way too late to the party, and it's just yet another kill for Baby Knight. At this point, it's kind of like feeding the Ember Spirit, because they're just running into the wrong place at the wrong time every single time. They're also going to lose potentially their Beastmaster, who's going to get lassoed, relocate in. Baby Knight is going to find himself yet another kill opportunity, is going to use that jump to get the kill. Blan will not shatter to this. They should all get out of here alive. He might actually shatter if this missile lands. Oh, he will relocate out just in time. That saved his life, I think.
Probably, although then again, it's a level 1 missile, is 50 damage, I think. Oh, well, 80 damage minus 25% is about...
It would have put him...
20 damage. Yeah, it's 60 damage. 60 damage.
That would have been lethal, I think.
I
don't know who
I think the Shatter or the Ice Blast went off of him when he had like 150 left, and he would have had to drop to like 80 health or something, so may or may not have survived, of course, doesn't matter, as mid lane Nihi's gonna lose his life. Again, Baby Knight, his godlike Ice Blast will come out, but no kill secured with that one anyway. Baby Knight though, he went for a Maelstrom of all items.
It's a little bit less conventional. Okay.
Well,
Wait,
Nico
what's
Baby
happening?
is fighting Ace, but what was that, like a real GG, fake GG? Never mind.
Okay.
That just happened.
Yeah. I guess Maelstrom was the correct item choice.
Now I know how to win pops. Build Maelstrom, Ember Spirit.
Yeah, 902 instant Maelstrom ends the game outright. 90% of the time, it works every time.
They broke Dota. It's the item kill combination that leads to auto GG.
Well, that means that overall in this group, HeflaTV are guaranteed a chance to get into Division 1. They're going to be going to the Division 1-2 games.
So that's a pretty just comfortable position to be in. They do have one additional 2-game series, but since they already have the spot guaranteed, then they're like, yeah, doesn't matter that much. Maybe gonna like try out a few strategies, although it's not like those strats so far have been entirely common. This game maybe a little bit more so, but nicely executed. Definitely a team on the rise at the moment if they can just stick together and not disband in a month or so. But anyways, guys, nice games. First game definitely a lot better to be honest than game number 2. A little bit disappointing in all fairness, but well, that's the nature of Dota sometimes. But guys, thank you so much for just tuning in. Appreciated that you came, and we're gonna have one more game later on in the night at 02 CET, as in about 5.5 hours, I'd like to say, something like that. It's going to be Isurus Gaming versus RBD. I have no idea for what that stands, but a game nonetheless, guys. But if you enjoyed, check us out on our Facebook as well as Twitter, HeflaTV for both, for the casters, at Couchor for me, at Mike Loros for my co-caster, and just enjoy the rest of the evening.